And when you move down to the 400, she has shown what this event is capable of doing. There is no way Titmus goes 356 without Katie Ledecky.
So in they go, 8 lengths of the pool. We mentioned the 800. Katie swept the 200, the 400, the 800 in Rio, the second person to win 3 individual freestyle events at a single games. And the numbers go on and on and on. The world records that she has set in all of her disciplines. And we haven't even mentioned the 1500 free, which Katie will get a chance to swim in the Olympics for the very first time. That is her most dominant event.
You know, a perfect example of what Katie has been able to provide for the rest of the world is this young 14-year-old right there. Summer McIntosh from Canada. I'll say it again, 14 years of age. And here she is racing the legend 2 lanes above her.
Third youngest swimmer, Summer McIntosh, at these games. A couple of lanes away from the legend. Her mother, Jill, was an Olympic swimmer for Canada back in 1984 in your heyday, Roddy.
Yeah, and she's been 405 thus far this year. Not ranked in the top 10 in the world. She gets better as the distance goes up. And you look at this event, it's not that strong overall, man. I mean, it took 4:04.3 to make it back in the top 8 5 years ago. There are only 5 swimmers in this entire competition in the 400 freestyle that have broken 4:04.3. So it has become a bit pedestrian, except at the very top. And the top is amazing.
Especially amazing, and all these swimmers and so many athletes across the world have obviously dealt with COVID and what it's done to their training, but I think that the Ledecky story with her teammate Simone Manuel, they trained in a backyard pool in Menlo Park during COVID of a former All-American UCLA swimmer, which one of her coaches knew. They ended up there, Roddy, for 3 months. His 3 grandkids were a part of the scene there. They kind of lightened the mood. Those kids' cheers, Katie said, will be ringing in our ears here in Tokyo. And so all of these swimmers did whatever they could to stay in shape, and that does not exclude, in your estimation, Rowdy, the greatest female swimmer of all time in Ledecky.
There is no question in my mind. I'll get a lot of arguments for a Katika Hosu. And I mentioned her, or Tracy Calkins especially, who was also during my time. She swam in the same Olympics I did. She was my teammate for 6 years, but for the body of work, what she's been able to do the last 9 years, she's the GOAT.
So Ledecky cruising into the wall with 100 meters left. The 300-meter split time there for Ledecky, 2:59.39. McIntosh running second.
It was 002, then 101.7, the last 2 100s. And, you know, this is where I think time management is very, very important for Katie. She's not 19 years old anymore, and she's got a lot of events. We mentioned, I think, last night where she was going to swim perhaps a 30-mile, when you count the competition and all the warming up and warming down, 30 miles, so she's got to really manage each race. She doesn't need to be 3:58 here. She can go 4:01 and have it be no problem.
By the way, we mentioned the 1500. That is going to be one of the tough finals for Katie. 200 free final and the 1500-meter final are a little more than an hour apart. So this is just the beginning of an incredible workload again for Katie Ledecky, who cruises into the wall with a time of 4:00.45.
I like the way she looks right there. No red on her shoulders. Here's her stroke. Light kick behind her. Once you enter that catch, that is non-propulsive. But watch what she does after that. She anchors those hands and then points those fingertips down. And this accelerates right by her body. And watch her as she comes into that turn. The head is very heavy. She lifts it up just a little bit. She's got to get out of that habit, no question. But when she uses that weight of the head, throws it to her chin, tucks that chin to her chest, and then she finishes as well as anybody. It's a pretty good morning swim. I think she'll be happy with.
There were a couple of national records set. Lee Bing-ji